One of the biggest gripes of SuperCard of past unfortunately still exists in the game today, and that is an automatic deck. Until player profiles came in, top 8 was basically the measure of everything in game, and most decks were determined by your top 8 or by locking certain cards in. For example, Clash of Champions, Giants Unleashed, Codebreaker, Tag Team Takedown, TLC. And whilst Clash of Champions got basically cancelled, Tag Team Takedown and Giants don't really have a difficulty curve the same as, let's say, Codebreaker and TLC. One mode that does have a specifically steep difficulty curve as you go on, Last Man Standing, the event that we have this week, which is joined by a Flash PCC. Now this, I have to say to the guys at Cat Daddy and SuperCard, is great. I love the new Flash Last Man Standing idea, where it's a bit of a faster paced event over a 2-day, 3-day period. I don't love we've got to play PCC afterwards. In fact, I don't like PCC in its current state. But there is one thing about PCC I do like, and that is that you can change your deck to however it fits you. You can auto-fit it. You can put in your worst cards. You can put in your best cards. It's totally down to you. Last Man Standing, however, still stuck in the past where you are locked in. The same with 24/7 mode. The problem here is twofold. One, you can't change your support. So even if you have a 1-stat support system, you cannot change your supports to match something that's going to potentially help you get through a level, or something that overall is going to give you a boost. No, instead, you could be stuck with a support potentially 2 rarities lower that specifically focuses on 1 stat. And historically, you benefit more from either targeted stats or double stat managers and supports. And where you can't change your deck, you are stuck with 2 problems. One is the arrows. The best decks in Last Man Standing are not just balanced, as in stats that are across the board the same. So let's just say if you had an all adventure deck, you would actually fare better in Last Man Standing instead of having half an adventure deck and half a static deck. The same goes for the female superstars. In fact, you can have a static deck for female superstars and let's say jump to the future WrestleMania deck for male superstars, and the difficulty will change based on whether it's male or female. The arrow alignments can be changed somewhat, with arrow changes to things you can get from the web store or in the equipment packs that pop up every now and then. But not everyone has the credits to do this, and if you don't have the credits to do it, you are reliant on momentum slots, which you can decrease and increase to make sure your cards go into the right spots. For example of how to change it, I'll take this Batista, I'll go power and charisma. That makes him a left arrow. Immediately that gives me more balance in my deck. I'm going to put my other Batista as a right arrow, and now I have this rogue Ivar sitting in the deck. I'm also going to change AJ Lee across to a left arrow so she matches with Becky Lynch, which will give me 2 left arrows, 2 right arrows, the perfect for balance. But I still have the problem of this Ivar, and in my cards, the next one along is Ricky Saints. Good news about Ricky Saints, he's a right arrow. Problem with Ricky Saints, I don't have any equipment that's going to be good enough to take him above Eric, who's a down arrow. So what if I told you you can actually change all of this?
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Whether you're a free-to-play player struggling to get from static to the next rarity, and you've just been blessed with an Oba Femi pull, which is great, but massively imbalances your deck, or whether you are an absolute huge whale or kraken in the game and spend way too much money, and you want some more balance in your supports, so you can actually fix this problem completely free of charge. But you know what else is free of charge? The thumbs up button. And it'd be great if you let me know if this goes on to help you by hitting that thumbs up button. And it only takes 2 seconds for you to do it. So hit it now before we get into the meat and bones. And if you want more tips and tricks with SuperCard, but also into 2K26, then hit that subscribe button. And I'd love to know in the comments down below, what is your biggest problem in SuperCard? Whether it is deck balancing, is it a certain mode you don't like? Leave it, because hey, the guys at SuperCard do check feedback. I mean, the Royal Rumble mode is an example of that, because that's had some nasty feedback. So maybe drop your biggest SuperCard problems, and hey, who knows, the community might help you. Whilst you're there, drop your Last Man Standing rank from whatever Last Man Standing you're in, whether it's now or in the future. Anyway, I know you're probably thinking, JB, stop yapping. I know. It's just important to lay the groundwork so you know where this is going. So position is I need to get that Ivar out of my deck so I can fully balance it with left arrows and right arrows. This means I'm almost guaranteed to have at least one tag in every lineup I get in Last Man Standing. And there's no possibility I'm going to have a yellow arrow clash with a blue arrow. The solution is actually super simple. You go to your card, you unlock it, and you send it to your binder. Now that card is in your binder, it cannot be selected and automatically put into your top 8, meaning Ricky Starks now becomes my right-hand man. And if I don't have the equipment, I don't have the momentums, or like I mentioned, that Obafemi card that I just put off the board that is great, but in Last Man Standing, it's not, because it's massively causing deck imbalance to my static deck or my adventure deck. You can just take it out for the event or whilst you're playing Last Man Standing, and when I want it back in, I just go to the card binder, I find him in Royal Rumble 26 rarity, and I put him back in. Just make sure you lock him back in, because they come back into your deck unlocked, and you have your War Raider ready to use in, let's say, War Games or Road to Glory or in Wild, whatever. And the good news is that as long as you've got the space in your card binder, this is unlimited. So technically, you could do this 50 times or so, or even more if you bought more space in the card binder, and drop your deck down to the lowest possible, and you'd actually be totally fine without any problems whatsoever. So again, you go to your Last Man Standing deck, you find the problem, which is this Batista. He is now a down arrow. I don't want that Batista to cause me a problem. I unlock it, I go back to my cards, I find the problem, and I throw it into my binder. Once I'm done with Last Man Standing, I go back into my binder, return it to my cards, and hey presto, you've got that solution to your biggest problem. Now let's just say your deck is balanced, but you're running into a problem where your supports just aren't hitting for you. You need something more balanced, and currently your Universe and your Maurice are causing you a massive problem. Or maybe you want to have, like I've got this Milkamania for Kurt Angle from the last rarity, and I need to have a Toughness, Charisma, Power, Speed to give us full deck balance. Previously that wasn't possible and it caused a bunch of issues. Now it's possible, because like we did beforehand, we can just go to that Maurice card and, like this Maxine Dupree, slap it into the binder. That makes my best manager now automatically Miss Elizabeth, who is a double stat, and you'll be surprised just how much of a difference it makes to have a double stat manager compared to a single stat one. And you go back to your Last Man Standing deck and hello Miss Elizabeth. There she is. And again, we've got this Toughest Charisma, Speed Charisma issue over here, so we need to remove some supports. And this saves the biggest problem of potentially deleting stuff that you will need later on. By looking at all of my support cards, I know the best mix would be Milkamania with Alexa Bliss. She has power and speed, this has toughness and charisma, perfect deck balance, the most open choices available. So I need to get rid of Pump It Up, the Low Blow, the Yeet Boy, and Scary Nikki Cross. Slide those again into your binder, go to your deck editor, and hey presto, you now have the deck balance. Well, actually, no, I don't have the deck balance need because the row case is there. So I'm now going to go back, find the row case, and again, place it into the binder. Now I'm going to go back, go to Last Man Standing deck, and hey presto, I swear it's trolling me right now. Now I'm just going to put all of my static ones away. Okay, so that should be it, I hope. We're going to go deck editor, and there we are. Power and speed for the microphone, toughness and charisma, Milkamania, and I got my double stat manager. It saves so much aggro, and this is a trick I've used in the last Man Standing, and I wanted to make sure it worked in this Last Man Standing, which it does. And just so you know, it's not just a visual glitch. I've gone back out the game. I'm going to go back into the game, go back into deck editor, go to Last Man Standing, and boom, we now have a fully balanced deck across the board. Absolute perfection.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Now, for those of you who are free to play in lower rarities, let me give you a very strong recommendation. If you have cards like that Obafemi, which is free of charge, or maybe you lucked out and grabbed yourself, I don't know, a Penta, which is way, way overpowered. If the rest of your deck is, let's say, 6 static cards, pros, and you've got 2 Royal Rumble 26 cards, the stats are going to be way different. And you want to get the stats all on the same level. So whether it's, let's just say 500,000, and your new cards have a stat level of 600,000, you want to remove that 600,000 to fall in line with your other cards. And the good news is, even if you've got a top rarity deck for the men's, if you're struggling in the ladies and you need to go back to static cards and just take your top cards out and drop down your maximum stats all to the same level, whether that's 400,000, 300,000, whatever, you could technically remove all of your female cards and have, I don't know, a prize rarity deck, and the cards you face for the men's will still be at the level that your men's cards are at. So that is how you bypass the top 8 system, because if SuperCard won't do it, well, I'm going to show you how. This also works for 24/7, and if you really want to go into Tag Team Takedown, you can do it for Tag Team Takedown, which again will massively change your fortunes when you're matching up with other people, because your overall deck balance, if it's all the same across the board, you will never have that situation where you face up against top rarity cards, whilst the best cards you've got are at adventure rarity, but you just so happened to get yourself that Obafemi and maybe the Finn Balor, and boom. Take those out, your deck values go down, and hey presto, you got yourself deck balance again. So I really hope that this goes on to help you guys, because when I found this out, I was so happy, because this is a big issue that's plagued me since the game mode released. It's been so frustrating for years not being able to do this, and finally being able to unclip my wings when it comes to this mode is absolutely delightful. And if this goes on to help you, leave a thumbs up, or do it just because it's free and hey, it takes you 2 seconds. Comment down below with where you're currently at in your current last man standing and what superstar it's for. So if it's not LA Knight now, yeah, maybe it's Santos Escobar.
Santos Escobar.
And this is the ranking in LMS I got, or something crazy like that. Leave it in the comments down below. But if you want to get unlimited top rarity cards, this is the video you need to go to, because trust me, this method is absolutely balmy and you will improve your deck just by doing it. Or go down to the most recent video just down here, or hit my face to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bye.